It's the silly season where criminals are on high alert as they're aware that consumers will be in spending mode during the festive season. Consumers need to have their guard up generally and even more so during this period. There are a number of threats that criminals pose to banking consumers that we need to be aware of. To discuss these issues further, I'm joined by Francois Viviers. He's from Capitec Bank. Thank you very much, Francois, for joining us. Now, every year there does seem to be a new scam to steal people's hard-earned cash during the festive season. What are some of the key threats that you're observing currently, especially for bank customers?
Good afternoon. One of the ones that we see the most today is something called social engineering, and that is when someone phones a client and they pose to be the bank, or they pose to be someone from a company that they work with or that they know, and they say, "We found that there is fraud on your account and we would like to make sure that your money is safe. Will you please help us to confirm your banking information?" And because people feel anxious and they're concerned, it's their money, they want to protect it, they tend to give their banking information. And the fraudsters are very clever in a way that they then coach people to actually accept authentications on their app, and then that way gain access to their internet banking or to the banking app, and they steal their money. So I think one of the main things is people need to realize that there are scams out there. It's one of our biggest complaints we find today in social media across the sector for banking, is that people are victims of fraud. And in most cases, it is because they allow people to cheat them out of their personal information or their banking information. And they must be really vigilant about that.
So, Francois, in dealing with these criminals, and you want to ensure that you're dealing with an authentic organization, what are some of the red flags that consumers should look out for? And what are some of the questions that the consumer should ask this person that's calling them to be able to verify that they are the real McCoy?
I think the first important tip is really to not trust anyone. Similarly, as it is December time and people are going to the beach, and if you go to the beach, you put on sunscreen, you go to a beach that's safe, and you definitely don't leave your wallet on the towel next to you because someone's going to try and take it. But for some reason, when people ask you or phone you and ask you for information about your banking your bank account, it's the same as asking to hold your wallet, and people should be careful. They should not trust it. So it's important to know, firstly, that your bank will never phone you and ask for your banking information. If that happens, or anyone says that there's a suspicious activity on your account, the safest thing to do is to say thank you very much, to hang up the phone, and rather contact your bank. So you phone your bank's contact center or fraud department. The second thing is that fraudsters find it easy to cheat people out of their banking information and PIN when it's easy to guess the PIN. So a lot of people use their birth dates as a PIN, or they use their dog or family member's name as a password. And we have to make this more difficult. So an important tip is to choose 5-digit PINs, not 4-digit PINs, because typically a 4-digit PIN is usually a date of birth. Yeah. And choose a PIN that you don't use to unlock your cell phone, because it's very easy to see someone's PIN when they unlock their cell phone, and more often than not, it's the same PIN that they use for their bank account. The third thing really is to use technology to help secure your information. So two-factor authentication is when your bank sends you a notification when you log onto the app or internet banking and you have to authenticate it. Or use the biometrics that's on your phone. So scanning your fingerprint or scanning your face helps to keep it secure as well. And the last tip really is just, as I said right in the beginning, is don't trust anyone. When someone phones you about your bank account or your banking information, or they offer you assistance to help with internet shopping or to draw cash at an ATM, rather say no thank you and contact your bank directly. That's the most important thing to note.
Yeah. Francois, thank you very much for those tips. They're very instructive indeed, and thank you for speaking to us on this topic. People need to be very vigilant because, of course, this is the silly season. Francois Viviers, he's from Capitec Bank.